Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. Wanted to bring you guys an update on Bitcoin, and also I wanted to thank you guys so much for the 5,000 subscribers. I couldn't do it without you, and it's been such an encouragement to see how many people are studying and working so hard now and really starting to understand technical analysis. And I'm learning and you guys are learning. We're all growing together and we're learning together, because remember guys, like I've said, I've done this for a year now. I'm still a beginner at all this as well, and I'm getting better and better every day, but I'm nowhere near an expert. And I've learned so much from you guys, and I hope you've learned stuff from me, and we're just going to continue to keep pushing through. We've been through one of the most brutal bear markets together, so apparently we can get through about anything, guys. But we're going to talk about if the bottom's in, if we believe that, if there's going to be more upside, downside, what's going on with all this. So if you could hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all that. Trying for 100 likes on this video, and can't do it without you all, so I appreciate it. So what we're going to get into here is basically Bitcoin's in a symmetrical triangle, and the way I wanted to do this so we could just kind of look at it as that symmetrical triangle, I drew this vertical line. So this is what I want you to look at, from the vertical line over to the right. That's what we're going to be looking at here. So we're having lower highs that have been coming and have been taking place now, and these have been in place. It goes back into the farther part of the chart, guys, but just for this, we're going to call it since December 24th, so Christmas Eve, when we had these tweezer tops. So we're going to go from that area. We've just been having these lower highs. We haven't got over to make a larger one or a higher high. And then down low, since that time frame, we have had higher lows that have came in. We also have this really large gap right here, which makes this trend line strong. That's a strong trend line. So guys who are buying the bottom here, trying to defend this, are buying down in this trend line, and then guys are shorting up top here. And now we're getting to that decision point. We're kind of getting more so to this apex. Which way are we going to break? Are we going to break up, or are we going to break down? And the overall trend still has been down. The macro trend has been down. And typically with these symmetrical triangles, they will break with the trend. Because a symmetrical triangle, guys, they can break up, they can break down, just depends. But they will break more so with the trend. And the trend's been down, obviously. So we have to put that into account. We have to factor that in. But one good thing that I am seeing here, we had this big shot come right off here. So we defended this support right here. Huge shot came up. We've blown through now. This is on the 4 hour. We've blown through the 20 EMA, the 50, and also we're holding up above the 200 moving average right now. So this is in a way almost looking kind of like a little bull flag. So we had this long pull, and now we're just kind of consolidating. We're just moving sideways, and then a lot of the times you'll get another blast off. So that could happen. You see these right here? So you had that blast off, and then you kind of had that pullback. They'll pull down, sometimes slant down. You can have pennants, you can have flags, sometimes just move across where there's that cooling down period, and then they blast off again. So there's one, and then you had the cooling off, and then another one. So who knows? This really could be, guys. You could be here, and then volume's supposed to dry up. You're supposed to have that big spike, and then volume's supposed to go down. So big spike, volume going down. Besides that, right there started coming a little bit more, going down, and we're going to see if we break up or if we're going to break down and come back down and test these. Obviously we'd have these moving averages that we'd have as support as well, but we'd be looking down here at this trend line to see what we do with it. So we have to pay attention that we're still in this symmetrical triangle. We're having lower highs, we're having higher lows, and we're getting that apex, and we're going to have to see which way we end up breaking. So I want you guys to put it down low. Do you think we're going to be breaking up? Is this going to be a bull flag, or do you think this is just kind of one of those fake outs, lower highs, from here, and it'll be another Bart pattern? Do you see this one here, and then we just move sideways, and then we actually dumped? So leave it down low if you think that's going to happen. And then also pay attention to these trend lines. If we break out of these trend lines, always remember there's a chance for it to pull back onto that trend line before blasting off again. That's one scenario. Second scenario is it could just blast right through the trend line and keep running. And then another scenario, it could go out of the trend line and then come back down through, and we could actually end up down in here. You could have something that looks like this, these candles on the backside. And in the book that I'm reading by Bulkowski, it talks about how to make money off broken patterns. And that's why I said, if you're able in this market, guys, to learn this, to study and learn these things, you can long the market, you can short the market, you can do all these different types of things. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the price is going up or it doesn't matter if the price is going down. Just give me volatility, and that's what cryptocurrency is. Look at this volatility. Look at it here. I mean, over here, there's volatility everywhere. And that's why guys are in this space. Now what we're going to do, we're going to step out. I want to go to the 1-day chart. So just be patient with me here. Because we're going to do some fib levels. Just want to see what everything's looking like. So on the 1-day chart, look how far away we still are from the 200-day with Bitcoin. So like if you look at Litecoin, we ran into it, the 200-day. So in a way, Bitcoin's starting to hold some things back. So we're going to have to see how the market deals with that. If altcoins are just going to break away by themselves, that's a possibility. Anything could happen in this space. It could be we're tied to Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden you wake up and altcoins blast off to the moon and Bitcoin's where it's at. Or Bitcoin could blast off to the moon and the altcoins stay where they're at. Anything can happen, and that's why we have to be prepared for anything to happen. So let's take a look at this fib from this fall, which we still got a really weak bounce. So right in there, I mean, we're still under this 0.236 on Bitcoin. That was $3,934. And that's when I'm looking at the symmetrical triangle saying, ooh, is it going to break down? Or are we going to go to that 31.18? Was this just a little pump and then we're going to have that dump down to 31.18 and we may double bottom to where we can actually have the start of the next cycle? And we could start potentially that trend change. Maybe that's something that we can factor in, pay attention to. Look at the volume here. It's still, I mean, you can see the volume still trending down. Yes, we got this nice spike here, which I'm happy about that. Hopefully that will be the first spike in the set of volume growing. Remember, when we go into bull markets, that volume is going to grow. It's going to increase. Just like when price is going up here, look at the increase. And that's the difference between, hodling, how I've talked about this, guys. It's great in a bull market when these dips are taking place and you're buying that and you're holding it, and then you hold that while you're continually moving up. Yeah, you're going to have retracements and pullbacks. But in a bear market, if you're just trying to hodl, then you're just going to see it going back down. And each time these reactions, these are guys getting out. Or people were buying down here and they knew they were just going to ride this up to that 200-day, and then they were going to take their profits. And then look, it fell back down. Bear flag, just bear flag after bear flag. And then they'd play out in these little cycles here. Here's a 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. Basically in a little wave cycle, and then we would just fall back down. And we'd basically lose everything we just made. So this is a very interesting market. And it's one that's going to keep you on your toes. And you have to be ready for it. You have to pay close attention, and you have to look at the things, all these different things, the Fibonacci and the Bollinger Bands and all that type of stuff, RSIs, and just study them. And now one more thing, we're going to step out and we're going to see what this is really looking like here for this cycle. So let's throw a fib on this, kind of talk about the levels we're at. So we have broken through the 0.786 at 42.71, and the next stop there in terms of Fibonacci here would be the 0.886, and that would be at 2,265. Do I think it's going to go there? Who knows? We got, another area right here where that would match up, but this would be one more leg down there. It would be another big channel to fall through. And then you can see this 200 days still pressing hard up against us. We got to gain some more price, and this has to continue to come down until we eventually meet it, and we're going to have to see what we do with it. If we're going to close up above it, or we're going to bounce back down off it, just like we did over here. See this? How we'd come up, and then we just bounced right off it. Institutional traders are paying very close attention to this 200-day moving average. It's very important. And so far, they've been shorting off it. So, Bitcoin's at 35.95. We're down 1.48%. And, I'll check our candles real quick for us, guys. I'll just zoom in. But we still have to be cautious. I know a big, nice spike of volume came in, but we still have to be realistic and understand where we've been in this market and how long we've been in this bear market. And we have to see, is it the trend change yet or not? Or are we not there? Are we not ready yet? Or is it just another lower high? Just throw a trend line right on there and see. But we had this beautiful and bullish engulfing candle here that came up. Then we had a doji, and then it looks like we almost formed a hanging man there. And now we have a short day bearish candle moving sideways. So that's where we still could move sideways before another blast. We want to pay attention to that, or we could move sideways, have that Bart pattern, and then blast down, and we would look to see if we could hold support at 33.46. If 33.46 isn't going to hold, we're going to be looking down here around that 31.73 where we saw the doji and the inverted hammer right here into that bullish belt hold line candle. And then we had our shooting star at the top with our tweezer tops right here, and then we got pushed back down into a bullish engulfing candle, went back up, and then you can see the dojis, all that stuff, that indecision. And that's that fight back and forth, bulls and bears just fighting, bulls and bears fighting. That's how you have to look at it, is that fight between the bulls and the bears. So these are some of the things I'm thinking, guys. You let me know what you're thinking. Are we going to go down for a double bottom? Was this just another little, pump and dump type deal, send the lower high, or was this something serious that we really need to pay attention to and see what happens? So leave down low. God bless each and every one of you, and thank you again for the 5,000 subscribers. It's amazing. And if you guys, continue to like what we're doing here and subscribe and hit that like button and all that and comment down low, I'll keep doing it for you. And I'll do it with, all the spare time, guys. YouTube, I got a lot of things that have to come before YouTube, but I'll do the best that I can with the time that I have to help you guys. If I can help someone not make a terrible decision by something that I've shown them that the textbook's showing, as seeing things like a huge bearish engulfing candles coming in, and you're at the top of a peak, and someone saying, oh, I'm going to throw my money in. I want to be able to talk to them and tell them, maybe look at things a little bit differently, because we've all been there. And I've learned from other people's experience, and I've learned from my own, and the losses I've had, and the wins that I've had, and the losses of others, and the wins of others. So I want to help someone, and hopefully I'm helping you guys learn something. God bless each and every one of you.